the second fastest way to make money in self-storage investing, right? So the first way is like in the buy, like Pete says, and then mismanaged facilities versus income producing properties. And then the second way is wholesaling. Wholesaling self-storage, y'all. That's where it's at. Okay. And I just had one of my students come into the mastermind, and he started 4 years ago with me, and he's wholesaled 17 storage facilities and bought several himself. Right. What he does, so, and I'll get into wholesaling in just a second, but what his strategy is if they will owner finance, I will purchase the property myself. But if they don't own or finance, then I'm going to wholesale the property, which I think is a very, very good strategy, right? And so for a lot of you, especially if you don't have any money right now, you're listening to me, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And this, Stacy says everything's expensive, which is true. It is expensive. Then what you can do is you can wholesale self-storage, okay? In my course, we have a whole section on wholesaling self-storage. Essentially, what that means is that you are the middle person between the buyer and the seller, right? So you go out and you talk to owners, just like we talked about at the beginning of the session, and you get the owner to put the facility under contract, right? And for whatever price that you get it, and it could be owner financed. It could be lease to own. It could be the owner's carrying a second back. It could be cash. It could be bank financing, whatever the owner wants to do, right? And you can wholesale any facility that has any strategy at all, because everybody will do all the strategies. Everybody will buy something even with the strategy on it. So you don't have to say, because the thing with wholesaling in the real estate world is like, oh, you have to make a cash offer, cash offer, cash offer. But that's not true. It's not true. You just have to make offers, because really it's a numbers game anyways, right? And you want to make offers, and you want to give the owner lots of options, right? I mean, nobody ever makes me offers. We got 13 facilities. We never get any offers at all. And we've done $60 million worth of offers in the last couple of months. And we got a lot of offers. And every offer that we send out has at least 4 different offers, if not more, right? And the owners, I mean, a lot of times the owner's like, man, I never got an offer letter like that before. It's always just like one offer, a cash offer. So you need to learn how to wholesale. So you go to the owner, you put the facility under contract with your offer, and then you go out into the world and you need to put it under contract. All right. You have to put this under contract. And because then that means that, and you have to pay the earnest money. Okay. And like, you just have $1,000 earnest money. Don't even put that much money down, right? Just like $1,000 at the most. Okay. And I mean, sometimes if it's like a huge, big facility, they want like a more down payment, but honestly, I've never put anything more than like $1,000 down on this one that I just closed, the $1 million one that we just closed. Like, I just put $1,000 down. So like, people think that you have to put 5 or 10,000. I don't have enough money for the earnest money, but just put $1,000. And now every once in a while you'll get an owner that's like, oh, I need to see proof of funds. I need this. And it's just like, all right, well then I'll just move on to the next person. But yeah, so you're going to put the facility under contract, and then you're going to go out, you're going to pay your earnest money so that you create what's called equitable interest in the transaction. Right? Because as a wholesale, the only way that you can sell and market property is if it's your own property. And the only way that you can market, like, somebody else's property is if you have equitable interest in that property, right? Like as a realtor, you just, have them sign a contract and you have a license and then you can go and do it, right? But as a wholesaler, you have to have the property under contract. Okay. And so then once you get it under contract and you pay your earnest money, then you can just go out to the world and try to find a buyer for that facility. And then you'll just mark that property up just a little bit. Like, don't be greedy. It's so annoying to me when like wholesalers are greedy, because what it does is just like screws up the whole deal. And then you end up not selling it in the first place. Right. So if you can make 25 or 50 grand, then you should be like so happy, right? and you mark it up just a little bit so that you can make some money on that deal, and then you sell it to the person that wants to buy it. And then they basically put it under contract and they purchase it. I do this all the time with my students. We have several under contract, because we have what's called turnkey acquisitions, where all like my virtual assistants will go out and find property for my students. That's one of the programs that we offer. And so like my virtual assistant will like put offers in, right? And then, finally somebody will accept an offer, and then one of my students will, and I'll put it under contract. I'll pay the interest, I'll pay the earnest money. And then we'll go out, we'll just, find one of our students to buy the deal, and then they'll be able to buy it. Okay. And so we do that quite often. It's just called wholesaling. All right. Now, some states it's illegal to wholesale, and I can't remember which ones it is. And does anybody know? Put it into the chat. Okay. And you can wholesale mismanaged facilities, or you can wholesale income producing properties.